Hey guys, welcome to game number 3 between Violet and Puzzle. This is the MSI Pro Cup number 10 finals. If you're just tuning in, it is tied up 1-1, and I think I finally understand Puzzle's build on the last map, which was Antigua Shipyard, where he rushed out those 3 observers. If he had built a Immortal right away, then he wouldn't be able to get his third Nexus up as quickly because Immortals, they are pretty darn expensive. So going with all 3 observers, maybe that is how he sneaks in the third Nexus. And having 3 observers generally isn't a bad thing. And Violet just hit a beautiful timing last game before Puzzle got those Colossus out. If he hit it like 20 or 30 seconds later, then the Colossus would have been out, and when Puzzle laid down all the force fields, the Colossus would be sitting in the back just doing massive amounts of damage. So Puzzle, unfortunately, got hit by a vicious timing of Violet on Antigua Shipyards. We'll see exactly what ends up happening on this map. Puzzle not going to scout after the 9 pylon again. He hasn't been scouting until a little bit later in game number 1. He almost didn't scout. He scouted after his Nexus and Forge were built. Maybe it was after the cannon even. But he went for a very late scout in game number 1. In game number 2, he scouted after his Forge. Semi-late, but not that late. Still in time, I think, to deny the hatch. But he didn't do it that much, as Violet did get it down at 16 supply. With some drone micro, forced the probe out of the, hatchery building spot, and then just took it immediately. Very nice job by Violet there. We do have the 15 pool being built, and most likely will be going for a 15 hatch. We'll see if he ends up just building a 16th drone. A lot of Zergs will only build the 16th drone once they see the probe going to block their hatch, because 15 pool, 15 hatch is much more optimal, and maybe he's just going to go 16 anyway. So doesn't see the probe does stop at the watchtower. The Overlord does see that Puzzle isn't in this base, and because an Overlord didn't go into this base of Puzzle, he's probably assuming, okay, it is complete cross spawns. And a little bit odd for the probe just to be hanging around, not going to go out for any scouting, as we do see. Nope, hasn't made his way. There we go. He is going to be going in right around the 3-minute mark after the hatch gets built. He doesn't care about delaying this one hatch one bit, and I'm a little bit curious why he doesn't even try to delay that. If the probe didn't stop at the watchtower and have a smoke break for like 30-40 seconds, he could have easily denied that hatch just a little bit. We do have 4 lings on the way for Violet, and he normally only builds 2, so this game doing something a little bit different, but he is going to be joining up, so that's only going to be 4 lings, maybe just so we can check out for any forward pylon locations, or maybe assumes there's a cannon somewhere. I don't know exactly. 2 lings going to be coming down, and he is going to be checking for any pylons. And the probe is just going to return home. So Puzzle, just playing this game very straight up, does have his 2 gases already as his gateway is building. So these gases, I think, were a little bit earlier than last game, but maybe not. We'll see exactly how much gas he has as soon as his Cyber Core does finish. I think in the past games he's had around 80 to 90 when they finished. We'll see what he has this game. Now just going to be starting to mine that, and Violet going on his 3rd base at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Does have 2 queens, or actually 1 queen already out. Did the vomit on the main hatch, then walked her way down to this natural. We'll be doing a vomit on the natural as the main one does pop out. Do one on the main, and we see the queen timed it relatively well. Not much idle time on this main hatch. And immediately going to do the vomits. This queen doesn't have the energy. He is actually using a creep tumor first, and that's a little bit odd, but maybe he's just using the creep, trying to spread it out, and the further the creep is, the further the proxy pylon, the forward pylon will be. So that's pretty good, but I think he may have wanted the extra drones, or maybe he doesn't have the money to actually use all his larvae. Going into this, he actually doesn't have any larvae. He's got 1 right now, and money, so he does have the money to use it. So I don't know exactly why he favored getting this tumor out so early. Maybe it's just to make sure the forward pylons get built a little bit further back. And we do have the Cyber Core finishing. A Stalker actually on the way, and he's going to attack this one Overlord. No Zealot out. Going to go for a Stalker first, and did completely wall in this ramp. Didn't even bother getting a cannon. Here we go. We do have the Robo Facility just now being built. This Overlord in a little bit of trouble, but he should be able to get away just fine. And a little bit odd that Puzzle ended up walling himself in this time. Not going to be getting as many sentries most likely. And wait, is he actually going to go down? One more shot, and again the Overlord just barely gets away. That is 2 games in a row where that Overlord almost died just from 1 shot away. This Overlord does see the Robo Facility, so Violet knows that is coming. And again, it is the 1-gate Robo, but this time a little bit odd because there is no cannon involved. So we'll see exactly what Puzzle has in store for us. 40 workers to 40 workers right now, but Violet still just droning up. The Roach one has started. He is, again, still just at 2 gases. Doesn't go for the 3rd gas so quickly, and that does delay his speed a little bit. But this game, he's actually got the speed before the layer. So we'll see exactly what he plans on going this game. It's not going to be that maxed out Roach thing, I think, just because he's starting the layer so late. There we go. It has started at the 7-minute and 40-second mark. Maybe this is going to be trying to go into Ling Infester, doing kind of like the Nest T style, because he does know it is going to be some type of immortal build, as a Warp Prism does get produced, and the 3 Sentry is going to be hopping up into that. Sees the Overload right here, and this Warp Prism is going to have to take a sneaky path to go avoid all the overloads, and it looks like he is going to be doing that, just going straight up and then over to the left, and that is 4 sentries. And this one Stalker going to be fending off the overload. Of course, Violet probably thinks it's going to be some type of immortal build again, because that's what he's seen the past 2 games. But Puzzle doing something with sentries. If he just gets the sentries right here, force fields his ramp, he can do a lot of damage to this main base. And going to be chrono boosting an immortal out right now. Going to be getting also more gates as this Warp Prism does make his way in to the main base, and not going to be going for the force field on the ramp. Going to be driving it behind the middle line. There we go. Force fields are starting to go down. Zealots warping in. Those Lings cannot get to those sentries. The AI at its worst right now. The Queen is trying to get taken out, but the force field does just barely miss. Roaches are coming in. It doesn't look like Puzzle has done that much damage with this Warp Prism play at all. He has stopped a lot of mining time, has taken out one of the gases, and now Violet, well, he's got a gas over here, so he's not going to be missing that much gas. More Zealots being whooped in. There we go. The force fields go down on this Queen. Queen cannot get away, and no more injects on this one main hatch. Force field trying to stop these Roaches. Cancels 2 units warping in, just trying to get on away. Those Zealots are going to be dead very shortly, as the Warp Prism wants to make his way over to the Natural, which has no units. If he can land down here, get a force field, that can be very big, but it doesn't look like he's going to be doing that. The Roaches do make the way down here, and the Sentries did have enough to force field it, since he did use a Guardian Shield. Going to be picking those up, and now going to be going over to this 3rd base. I can only assume how much trouble Violet would have been if a force field made its way on this ramp, as none of these were going to be units. As well, the Lover wasn't in egg form just yet. Sentry's going to be coming back on down. He has only killed 6 drones behind this. He has got 2 Immortals out. Did force a lot of Roaches, because you can't really use Lings to defend against this. That Roach speed is about, halfway done. And Burrow is also on the way for Violet. 2 cannons are being produced back here. It looks like he is going to be moving out, as he does take out one of his own pylons with 3 Immortals and a lot of sentries. That is definitely quite a bit of sentries, and still has 3 more sentries in this Warp Prism. But we do have the creep very far away, so no forward pylons can go down. But as we did see in game number 1, Puzzle uses Warp Prism so well, not only to warp in units, but to use a little bit of micro to keep his Immortals alive. And as we see, the Lings trying to get surrounds on those sentries, does put them back up in the Warp Prism, and now going to keep on moving out. Overlord or Overseer does come in, drops the Changeling, but he knows, okay, you are going pretty much all in right now. 173 supplied to 122, but there are 3 Immortals out, and that is a lot of Roaches for Violet. 35 Roaches, some good force fields by Puzzle. The Warp Prism not doing any micro with these Immortals. One Immortal may get taken out. His shields are down. It is being targeted by the Roaches, but the force fields are good. Units just cannot get in. Stalkers being whooped in outside of the force field range. These Immortals just being worth their weight in gold. But the second one going to be taken out. It looks like Violet may be able to hold this off, as all 3 Immortals do fall, but that's still plenty of Stalkers behind this. And they have decent shields. The supply now 96 to 104. Keep in mind, it was like a 60 supply differential at the start of this battle. He is making his way up here. This 3rd base is as good as Dennis. He does drop in force fields behind him. Roach is going to be falling back, take out this forward pylon. But again, that Warp Prism just allowing him to warp in units. Going to be taking out the Macro Hatch and the 3rd base, along with like 5 free Roach kills. And even going to be force fielding this one ramp, saying no drones, you cannot escape. You can't go to the high ground, as all the drones getting taken out. Puzzle up to 23 workers killed, as he does take out 2 of the hatches. It looks like the Roaches try to do a little bit of a counterattack, but with the 2 cannons and sentries here, that is not going to be happening. And now these eggs look like, oh, they're not going to die before they even get hatched, but that is just a lot of units. Those roaches not going to do much damage at all, and we do see Violet just giving that up, going to be healing up these roaches. The Observer, of course, does see those guys, and maybe Violet's hoping the Observer doesn't see them, or he doesn't know they're there. No, he's just going to be backing off, was just healing. I was about to say, maybe wait till units got on top of those roaches, then unburrow them, so the force fields aren't as effective. And there we go. Warp Prism does go back into its phase mode. Going to be warping in a few units most likely. And that's still a lot of sentries. 9 sentries out from Puzzle right now. And roaches look like they want to engage. Force Field's a little bit late, but does split those roaches in half. However, the roach is still in range to attack. Puzzle not kiting backwards. There we go. Moving some of those stalkers back. Those sentries are still alive, but they don't have much energy left. However, that roach count is dwindling. Puzzle is in the lead by 20 supply right now, as he is just taking out these roaches so easily. And now Creep Team is falling. Those roaches still a little bit fast because they have the speed upgrade and on Creep. The Macro Hatch now just finishing for Violet. His minerals are very high at 1,000, but Puzzle just has too much, it looks like. Roach is going to be coming in and going to the upgrades. It is 1-0 versus 1-1 right now. Immortal is on the way for Puzzle, gonna get force fields on that one ramp, and now just deal with these roaches. They're gonna do the best to kite, get one zealot for relatively free. Now 2 more sentries gonna get taken out. Force fields do go down, do get a few roach kills because of that. Actually, a lot of roach kills. That is only 6 roaches now out on the field. Gonna pick off those lings as they do come on down here. 81 supply to 111 supply. And Warp Prism does come, and there goes the GG by Violet. It is now 2-1 in Puzzle's favor. Just favoring the Sentry aggression. Oh my god, so many force fields were placed, and I have to hop into SC2 Gears after this game just to look how many force fields were used in this 16-minute and 30-second game. It was on Shakuras Plateau, so we're going to be hopping on over. And let's go to Builds Tech. Got all these. 50 force fields in 16 minutes. That is a lot of frickin' force fields. That is almost up to 3. It's like 2.5 force fields per second. Oh, not per second, per minute. Oh my god, per second, that would be incredible. But no, per minute. Not 2.5, it can't be. It's 16. What am I thinking? Ugh. That's real life. Maybe in real life time. But no, that's... Actually... Yeah, that is, like, 2.5. I don't know what I was thinking there, but yeah. Can't really think after 3 games, but we will be going into the 3rd game. Hope you enjoy, and I will see you soon.